Tell me.
Well, I was at first, Reverend Groover appointed Ruth Hamilton. She was the one he wanted to get the program started because she was a well-known singer. She was a member of Charles Street. So Ruth got sick and she was in a rehab in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I used to go to visit her often. And she told me the next time I came to visit her to bring a notebook. I said, bring a notebook? What? I'm going to write down. She said, just bring the notebook. So she started to talk to me. She said, you know, Reverend Groover put the academy. We want to start an academy in my name. She said, but right now I'm sick. But I never thought she was seriously ill. But she just insisted that I write down what she was telling me. And her main objective was, see how many of the children in the Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan area you can train. Don't let the spirituals and that kind of music be lost. And if we don't catch the children when they're small, it will be lost. Not knowing what she was saying, she said, I want you all to promise me that no matter what, you're going to start this academy and take it as far as you can get it. She wanted children who had no money, who had no chance of paying for music lessons, but to know that in Roxbury, that the program existed. I said, yes. I said, but I think we better get started. And I started the program on January 2nd, 2001. And with the 4 little girls, I started to teach them voice. I gave them voice lessons. And at the time, I was actively teaching in the Boston Public School. But that was an evening program. I would come straight from my school at the Martin Luther King Junior Middle School and come right to Charles Street and start setting it up. And these 4 little girls, 2 were altos, 2 were sopranos. And I trained them. They wound up with beautiful voices, and they really liked being at the Hamilton-Garrett at first, but they started, you could see the culture in them, which pleased me very much. But I am so glad, Melanie, that I had a book that talked about Gullah music. And I had a person to come in from South Carolina to do a workshop on Gullah music. That's what I wanted to do, and me to hear it, you know? I would love to work with you because I feel like Gullah music is a very important of Black music, very important, not only for Blacks, but I want the children to know about the heritage from other places, you know, and what great effect they have on our music, because they have not been exposed to this, and they need to be very much so. Don't
you see? I think that's really, really important. And from the little time that I had with Jeremy and all of the youth at Hamilton-Garrett, we were starting to learn about the culture. The kids were making pounding sticks. We were learning some of the tradition, and we were going to be presenting my piece, Freedom Land, which is a stick pounding choral piece. And what I have found, and there are songs that people sing all over the place that they don't realize that they're a Gullah spiritual. Like, for instance, Come By Here, My Lord.
Yes.
That is a Gullah spiritual. Ms. Garrett, the thing that irritates me more than anything is when I hear people say, oh, you know, that's a real kumbaya moment. And I'm like, you don't understand what the song is about.
That's
the idea that it is alone, you know, that lone voice calling out, don't leave me here in this situation. Come by here. I am in a situation where they do not see me as a human being. I am worked to death. Maybe they've separated me from my children. Come by here. That's what the song is about. And I think that it's important for our youth and for everybody to understand the roots of what was the impetus for this music to be created.
Right. And I go along with that, Melanie, because I used to teach the children whatever spiritual you are singing when we were doing spiritual. I
Mm-hmm.
said, look up the composer and try to find
Mm-hmm.
out why he wrote this and what this song means. If you
Mm-hmm.
know what the song means and you can associate it with something, then you can sing it. You can play it. I say, even
Absolutely,
with the
aren't you? So, what kind of strength and power and determination did it take for your ancestors to know deep in their heart, in a situation that told them they were nothing, that they must survive and thrive? You're here, your behind is sitting in that chair because somebody in one of your ancestors was strong enough and powerful enough within their spirit to
that's right.
maintain so that you are here.
That's right. And we have so many young people now and children that are not proud of who they are.
Hmm.
And I used to tell them, in order to sing these spiritual, you have to feel it within.
Yeah.
You need to know something about why this song was written. It didn't just come about, it's a reason it was written.
Hmm. And
So,
and also the fact that these songs are so important to what we're happening today. We have people, marching in the streets right now.
yes,
You know,
right.
I mean, we are crying, Lord, come by here. I mean, it's just as pertinent now as it was
That's
from
it.
that lone voice in the fields many, many years ago.
That's right. That's right. The slaves were bent over for us today. And they need to know that. And all
Hmm.
they had was to sing the song. That's the way they had to communicate because they couldn't say it. But nobody paid attention to them singing
Hmm.
it. So now, Melanie, I think you have awakened that knowledge with some children that, you need to think back as to how you got this far and
Hmm.
what we're doing today.
Exactly.
How is it compared or combined with yesterday?
But and also, how are you going to march this into the future? How are you going to walk? How are you going to walk around in your skin and feel proud and feel strong because we need you to feel proud and strong.
That's
And you
right.
have to understand that your ancestors are the wings behind you. You are
Wind
not
beneath my
you have
wings.
come a lot you have a long lineage, a long
That's right.
lineage of people who have been working towards freedom and justice. And it is up to you to spread those wings and fly. And that's one of the
That's
things
right.
that Hamilton Garrett has been doing for all of these years, is giving these
Yes, right.
young people their voice and their wings to fly.
Fly. That's it. That's it. And one of the students I had, a young man about the academy had been going for maybe 3 years. He
Hmm.
said, Miss Garrett, it's two songs I'd like for us to learn. I said, what's that? He said, I believe I can fly and wind beneath my wing. And he said, it's because of the history of our ancestors you've told us about and these spirituals we are singing.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll learn. That's a song,
Hmm.
two songs I want to sing, and maybe I can inject more of myself in it. And I say, this is to be listened to.
Hmm.
But Melanie, we have to work
Hmm.
hard to get this message out. We
Yeah.
really do. Yeah, Black Lives Matter.
Hmm.
But how did we get to this point? And
Hmm.
through music is one of the main ways we
Hmm.
got to this point.
Hmm.
And it's going to be music that's going to have to cure it. I think knowledge is better than power sometimes,
Hmm.
and
Well,
if
it's its
they
own
know,
kind of power. Yeah,
that's right,
it's
that's
true.
right.
Yes. Yes.
So I will, when this is over, I'm going to speak, but I want you to know from my heart, I appreciate your interest in the Hamilton-Garrett. I said, oh my goodness, I never thought
Yeah.
we'd be over here and doing all these things. And
Well,
I'm sure
Miss
we
Garrett,
mm-hmm,
when I came to visit the school, when I came to Hamilton Garrett,
mm-hmm.
one of the things that I noticed when I walked into the door was that I felt like every person, every youth that came in there felt like they were at home and felt
Yes,
like, because the thing is that it's going to be theirs. I
It
mean, they're
is.
going to be
That's
the,
right.
they have to invest and realize that this is not, this is a lifetime commitment so
Right.
that they understand that they're a part of this and that it is their responsibility to keep it vibrant and alive. And I love the fact that there was people there making sure, looking after the whole person, that they had enough to eat, that
That's
they had
it. That's
food, that
it.
they, and these kind of things, it's a space where you get, where you're really dealing with the whole person and not just the
That's
fact
it.
that they're coming together to sing. And that's what's so important about Hamilton Garrett.
Right. This is my home after school. And sometimes
Hmm.
Gwen Clark and I would stay there so late because they really didn't want to go home. And
Sure.
they would look, when they walk in the door, they would look at the table and see what food was there. After
Hmm.
the food was there, then they want to see if their teachers were there. Come to Hamilton-Garrett. This is the space for you to better yourself through music.
Yes, ma'am. And when I loved that when I walked in and they were all, kids were all jammed up and jelly tight and happy to see each other and having some food and then going off to do their various and sundry things and having that space and understanding that music and singing in particular has been at the very forefront of any important civil rights or human movement.
That's right.
There's always song.
It
So
has to
whatever,
keep going.
we have to keep places like Hamilton Garrett alive and healthy and able to keep moving forward because, think about it. Jeremy is now the head of it and she was one of the first little ones.
That's right. That's why I'm so proud of her because she was one of those first four little girls there,
That's right.
So she has been there to see from whence we have come, as they say, but like you say, our children just need to know more
Hmm.
about our background.
Yeah.
Our background is not only just looking at the slaves picking cotton.
That's right.
They don't really,
That
that's
we come
right.
from, we are descendant of kings and queens, and you can put people in chains, but you cannot take that part away.
Slave, you don't let
Exactly.
people enslave
Yeah.
your mind. You use your mind for the good of
Hmm.
humanity. Don't let
Yeah.
people persuade you
Exactly.
to go steal or go run and do damage to cities. Don't do
Hmm.
that. Stand up for what is
Hmm.
right in the right way. I
It's
used
going
to
to
tell
make
the
that change
kids,
so that we don't have to keep doing this.
that's right. Keep doing, every time
Go ahead.
something happened, we repeat the same thing. But I also taught the kids and I worked with the teachers to instill the kids that our theme song was Make Them Hear You, but there's a way to make them hear you. You can use music to make them hear you. You can use
Hmm.
self-restraint to make people hear you. I say, and
Hmm.
music is a great tool to cleanse the soul.
Yeah.
One day, hopefully,
Hmm.
that whole parking lot will be Hamilton-Garrett Academy. That's my dream. I'm glad
Hmm.
where it is and how it is, but I want it to expand. I really do. I would love for just to be a major school that kids can come to. And I want them to know that it is a wonderful place to be, but only you can make it that wonderful place. The building is just a building, but you make the spirit
Hmm.
that building live. Well,
I'm
I have
raising
my
my glass
bottle.
to you
Look,
and
I
thank
have
you.
my
So
bottle of
you
Pepsi
got your,
right here.
there you go. Here, have a little toast. There you go.
Let's
To
toast. That's
you,
right. Let's toast.
to you,
To
Mrs.
you.
Garrett,
And thank
and
you.
for
This
starting
has,
this beautiful thing.
well,
Go ahead.
I'm happy that you don't mind being a part of it. And you
Are
pray
you
for us
kidding?
that I know we are so happy that you have come to give your time and your talent to the kids of the Hamilton-Garrett, and you will be back. Well, good. I have been stuck with some people that I wanted to get unstuck, but I want you to get stuck and stay. Get stuck and
Oh,
stay.
yes, ma'am. Absolutely.